Hello, Internet. This is Shane. Welcome back to Real Talk. This is episode 8, and we're going to title this Different Kinds of Friends. Um, this has been something that I've been thinking about dealing with a lot lately, and I think it's good for me to highlight and differentiate people and to kind of explain how how I see people and how I see friendships and relationships and how I feel like it might be very different from the people around me. And this is going to touch a little bit on an episode that we covered earlier, why we cut people out and how it can be so easy when we have, very certain kinds of friends. But we're just going to jump right into it. 3/4 different kinds of friends, pretty easy. On one side, you have well, I guess you can even say five, and I would say that each classification is they're you could see it as a circle, as a Venn diagram, so they can obviously they can overlap, and you can have some friends that are multiple kinds of friends for you, and that fulfill multiple needs, I guess, as friends go. Let's just start. Type number one: personal friend, personal relationship, personal. And when I say personal, I mean really personal. This is somebody that you can talk to about anything. This is somebody that you trust personally. This is somebody that you could say that you would confide in. You would discuss life happenings, your thoughts, your feelings, your crises, your happy moments as well. Uh, to me, these are the most special kinds of people, the people that you can actually trust with your most intimate and vulnerable parts of your life. These are the people that I'm looking for. These are the people that I want to find as many as I can, really. I think these are the most valuable types of people. And these aren't going to be people that always agree with you. These aren't people that are going to be maybe even similar to you. But these are people that are good and are trustworthy and are good insofar as they will listen and they will give you their honest opinion. And they probably will, one, not care about what you think or your feelings, but two, I mean, they will care about what you think and what your feelings are, but they'll still be able to tell you the truth. You trust them to tell you the truth. Personal friends, I unfortunately haven't had the luxury of running into that many in my life. And I think that maybe that's just that's just the norm. It's very difficult to find people, especially these days, that we really feel like we can trust, that we really feel like we can talk to. And I think my goal has always been to try to be that person that really can relate personally to someone, that can really be that kind of person that usually somebody needs in their life. To be the type of person that you can come to no matter what. Uh, it has, been the case sometimes, but certainly for my personality, it hasn't been the case nearly enough, in my opinion. And that's a weird thing to say. It's a weird thing to want to dive into the more personal and vulnerable parts of people's lives. I would say it's not normal, but I will also say that I'm not a normal person. I'm not. I'm not the type of person that will run away from that sort of thing. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable. I'm not afraid to share the deepest parts of myself. And I'm not afraid, to hear what other people have to say. And from the relationships that I've made all the way up until now, nothing would surprise me at this point from any person. I've kind of ran into it all. That's good. It's good that I can say that. It's good that I can say that I'm experienced enough and have experienced enough to be able to relate healthily to people and to make them comfortable, to not judge them, and to empathize and sometimes sympathize with them, and then be able to share my own story. So that's personal relationships. To me, that's the most important. And now I'm thinking about it, maybe I will split this up into um, more categories and more episodes so we can keep these short. I was going to delve into each of the other types of relationships, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm no expert, but I think I will do that. But in that case, I guess I'll talk about personal relationships more. I would say that personal relationships, people that you can be personal with, they're kind of, I think once you establish that bond, that kind of relationship, that it's almost everlasting. It almost, you can almost trust that it's always there, especially especially if you feel like you haven't changed. Now that I'm thinking about that more, there are certainly friends who I've had in the past that they were my best friends, and I could tell them anything. But enough time has passed. I haven't changed that much since then, but it's very possible that they've changed a lot since I've last talked to them or seen them. Now, granted, that's about 10 years of change, and I wonder, those people that I can say that I met and I related to 10 years ago, if those people would, if I would still recognize those people. Now, there are people today that I met about 10 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer than that actually, that I still relate to healthily, and I would say that I still have a personal relationship with. But over time, we still interacted quite a bit, or a relatively high amount for sometimes the physical distance between us. That was, but I still trust this person. I actually saw them just the other day. So, but I think that you do have to keep in relatively regular contact with the people that you want to be in your life. And that's a pretty interesting point in itself, relating back to cutting people out. Sometimes it's not on purpose, where we could definitely lose people that we want to have around, but it can be too difficult to reach out and to keep those people in our lives. But again, I think that if they're important enough, if it's important enough for us to have them, we should do everything we can to keep them around, and or if they're worthy enough, I guess. I haven't met quite that many people yet that I would say that have met that criteria. But I would say now that I do have a solid group of friends that I can you know relate to personally with, and maybe it isn't good, just to go off on a tangent, maybe it isn't good to have a bunch of people that you trust that personally. Um, Maybe that would cause complications. Maybe that wouldn't be good for the other people that are trying to personally relate to you, which is interesting to think about. I guess last thing is, there are people that I met, or I have, oh man, maybe it's been longer than that, maybe 5 to 7 years ago though. Very recently, we haven't interacted with each other that much, but over, I would say like 2 years ago, this is a wild tangent, but that's fine. 2 years ago, we would meet pretty much every year, and I would say I would definitely still trust these individuals, but whether or not I would still consider them personal friends, that's actually that's a tough one. Uh, I've definitely talked with them about personal things. I definitely trust them. I trust them a lot. But I wonder how far, you know, I could go with some of these people. And I think that, is a key difference between what I would consider, a personal friend, and then people who would fit into a different category. And we're going to talk about those other categories, but I think we have to be so careful as well, thinking about, you know, what amount of, you know, personality, it's not personality, of that amount of, emotion, that amount of deep, intimate connection that people can handle, because there's a lot of people that just can't handle that just can't be that for you. And I think that's fine. I think that's completely fine. And I think that also, for those people that you can find that can be that for you, that you should try to keep those people as as close as possible. We're going to talk about other types of relationships, friendships, relationships, as in the next couple of episodes. But thank you so much for listening. Comment. Don't have to like, don't have to subscribe. I don't care. But comments are good. I do want to hear from people, and I do want to have a conversation. I want to see what you think, and if you want me to talk about something in particular. Again, thank you so much for listening, and have a happy Thanksgiving. Later.